I was gonna make a video covering why lifestyle features are the sole core experience of TDU, but I've then realized I didn't have to because that's not actually what was said. So yesterday we got the dev diary covering the launch and next steps with Alain Janou and Guillaume Guinet, and I was a bit thrown off a bit because of what was said, and I think that's basically everyone's reception. It was when it was said that where we mainly want to focus on the races because we know that the core gaming experience of TDU, after all, is racing. Now this really stuck with me because I was like, I already know people aren't going to react very well to this, but this doesn't make any sense because I spoke to Guillaume. He talked to me. We talked about lifestyle features. We talked about adding lifestyle features in year 1. We talked about adding lifestyle features in year 2, bringing back that focus and the TDU DNA. And not only Guillaume, but Alain Janou both know that lifestyle is a very big part of TDU. So me watching this, obviously from you guys watching this from the outside, you're probably way worse off. But as I said in yesterday's video, I was watching it and I was thinking, yeah, this doesn't make any sense because Guillaume had told me the house idea. He had a lot of lifestyle features that we discussed. So I decided to take a look at the French version of the video, and my oh my, what a fucking difference. And let's remove all types of bias. Let's pretend you guys don't know me, I don't know you, we know no one in this video, and just look at solely the English language. So of course, this is the English video, and it does say here, let's play it.
As you mentioned, where we mainly want to focus on races because we know that the core gaming experience of TDU is, after all, racing.
Now, it's worth noting, this is discussing the solo aspect to actual races. This isn't the offline part. The offline part was where he spoke before, where he said that, this is something they're going to look into for the end of the game's life. That's when they're going to attach that. But the solo features is, But the solo features is more related to stuff like us being able to play solo in the game rather than being forced with players interacting as such. But the core experience of gaming of TDU is, after all, racing, is again a liner that definitely stuck with a lot, if not every person, because especially due to the current morale of the community with such missing TDU features. Saying this is just a massive blow because now everyone thinks that Katie and Nakan, obviously rightfully so, aren't looking into the lifestyle features. But let's take a look at the French version. So this is a bit interesting. Now, if you speak French, you'll already understand this, but I'm going to tell you guys how this is, and I'm going to do a quick little translation. J'ai appelé en français aujourd'hui. Okay, so that's what was said in the French version. Now, because obviously I can do this 2 ways, I had someone who actually is from Quebec that helped me translate this. Shout out to Dan Boy. But if you literally just grab this and translate this to English, which I will happily do right now. Shout out to YouTube captions, man. So it's a bit butchered because you can see that it didn't translate something like free roam. It didn't really translate or didn't even give the proper French word. But here is what is said. So same thing, races, because we know the experience well. The main game mode of TDU anyway is the race. In reality, people come even in free roam, etc. But here's the thing. Main game mode and core gaming experience are 2 totally different things. Let's be objective about this. You cannot say core gaming experience and main game mode are 2 different things. And again, specifically, it was said le game mode principal du TDU c'est de toute façon la course, which basically means the main game mode of TDU is racing, which I think objectively we can all agree on that. I mean, you start TDU 1, what's the first thing you get into? Races. You start TDU 2, what's the first thing you get into? And the whole baseline story of the game? Races, because that is literally true. Races are indeed the main game mode of Test Drive Unlimited, the whole franchise. But is it the core gaming experience? Hell no, it's not. So when you come to watch these 2 videos and you realize it, and again, remove any bias, we're speaking pure facts here, not being subjective. There's a clear difference between the two words, or sorry, the two phrases that were used. And it's been disappointing and unfortunate because now, you know, if you watch the French version, you were like this meme I'll put up on the screen right now. This is literally the meme of watching the English version and the French version, because in fairness, this actual mention about the core gaming experience in English translation versus the main game mode, it's not the only thing that was kind of mistranslated in this entire French video. I mean, like, another super important thing that was not translated, and shout out to Grumbledore for he's someone that is French, and they also watched the French video and translated some bits for me. But they actually told me, and I'm gonna read their message right now. They said they stated that the week 1 patch, because we also learned that this was called a week 1 patch. They called it a week 1 patch, but the reason that it has to be delayed was because of newly discovered issues or something like that. And that's like relaying that information that's relayed to us is missing completely in the English version. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I also am now blinded by the mistranslation, but apparently that's also another thing that just wasn't translated and relayed to us, because those are important things, man. And it's unfortunate because now, as someone also mentioned to me, they have to play this game of we're basically gonna have to take the L and say that, you know, we're now listening to the community. But in actuality, they were always listening. They knew that lifestyle features were very big in the TDU franchise. And as I said, you guys have seen my dev diaries, as I've told you throughout this game. You know, they need to focus on the TDU DNA more to definitely cement that objective TDU feel. And that's exactly why when I heard that yesterday watching the dev interview, I was scratching my head, guys. I was so confused. I was like, this doesn't make any sense, bro. I talked to Guillaume. I know he knows what he's saying about lifestyle features. Why would he now all of a sudden say it's a core gaming experience, especially knowing, you know, attaching those words, especially in the direction that people have taken, they're obviously going to side with this very easily, because you could argue, and unfortunately you could argue, that this TDSC does have a focus on racing primarily. However, through the upcoming seasons, whether it's adding Ibiza, having the clan wars, or adding the casino, there's definitely a focus on lifestyle, or even lifestyle tied with racing, more than just racing alone. That is literally objective. That is a fact. You know, it's not like we're getting races and new cars every single season. It's a massive complete direction change with each season. And of course, with year 2, knowing that we're going to be getting motorbikes at some point, also housing, missions, that's all there. And that's why when I heard it, I'm like, how are you going to say that while still designing houses and missions and everything? Because it didn't make sense. And Copium, I think this is the one time I can finally say Copium has prevailed, because the mistranslation is quite clearly much different from the English version. And it's a bit fortunate. I think they just got to watch out for stuff like this, because delivery is very important in marketing. And although, to be honest, this whole video was actually pretty good, guys. It went over a lot of discussions. It went over, you know, how they want to do offline at the end of the game's life. They want to improve the solo aspect of the game, because a lot of us are saying that we don't want to play the game PvP all the time. You need stuff like, for right now, to be fair with you, in TD2 at the end of the game's life, or sorry, the end of the game's progression, you had stuff like the casino. You had stuff like the co-op races, which were more interactive. You have clubs. In TDSC, you have clan races, you have regular races, but there's none of that, you know, missions or stuff like that to help you progress through other ways than just doing race after race after race. And then obviously when Ibiza comes, we'll have more variety, and then the clan wars is something totally different and more interesting. Then the casino, of course, we have that as well, and then the year 2 for the foreseeable future. I mean, obviously, me talking about the future, guys, does not mean that this game doesn't need to be fixed and it's perfect, okay? It's okay to also discuss where we want to see the direction of the game go, especially once it's fixed. You know, these are things you gotta be discussing and relaying for the community right now. You know, you can't just say, once the game's fixed, okay, now let's look into, no. We know what the player wants from now. Let's fix the game, and then we'll get there. That's basically the morale and take that I have on this, but again, you guys speak for yourself. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, but it's quite obvious looking at this as just an English studier or an English speaker, the difference between the main game mode of TDU versus the core gaming experience, which, to break it down further in case people aren't understand what I'm saying or highlighting, is one is describing the game mode within a game's experience, and the other one is describing the game's overall experience. If I tell you racing is the main game mode, everyone can agree. I mean, I wouldn't really call houses a game mode. I wouldn't really call dealerships a game mode. These are features set within the game. But the lifestyle experience that you get in a test drive game versus the racing experience, if you primarily focus on racing, that's not TDU. If you primarily focus on lifestyle, that is TDU. Even if you mix in some racing with it, because that is what TDU is overall. But to say that the core gaming experience is racing is a massive difference from saying the main game mode is racing. But I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video, man. I know this is basically like damage control, but I have to let you guys know because, you know, at the same time, where it is fair to critique, and, you know, I will be fair throughout this entire thing, guys. I will be fair. I will call things out, you know. But at the same time, I have to also call out things that are clearly, quite clearly, not true and were misread. I mean, even the part in the beginning where it was said that Alain Genoux was saying about how is the launch of TDU is going better. In the French version, when you understand the context and what he's saying, he's not actually saying that. He's saying basically it's going better from where it was from launch because players can now connect even with some assistance and such. So it seems the entire, and I guess this is what you lose a lot of when you go through these translations, you know. Not only do you miss the emotion and delivery of it through your vocal output, which, like me, you know, obviously as you speak, your decibels go up and down, and, you know, you have facial things. There's a lot to speech that I'm sure you guys know what I'm saying, man. This isn't some BS that I'm talking on my neck. I'm trying to be extremely fair here to both sides, because like I said, I love TDU and I love the lifestyle elements. So if it's going to be dismissed in a video, of course I'm gonna call it out. But it seems quite clearly that it was mistranslated, and I'm going to revert on what I said, because if that's not what was said, I'm not going to have the same opinions. I'm going to feel a lot more calm about it now. But again, I highly recommend you guys go ahead and watch the French version, because you'll definitely, it's a lot more better delivered. And even if there's some issues with the translation in the with some missing French words that's picked up by the auto generator by YouTube, you can still get a very big picture anyways throughout the entire video. And yeah, it's a good way to practice French. You know, je parle français aujourd'hui. I've said that again. Je parle français aujourd'hui aussi. Yeah. I'll get there someday. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm Alex7. I'll see you guys in another video. I'm out, guys. Peace.